Good morning. I am Shaggy. I am Philolitea. I am enjoying the dawn still in my tent, and as you see, still bundled up in my sleeping bag. I have a question for you that I'm going to answer. Have you ever really thought about what it means to be made in God's image? Well, if you track down what other people have thought about what that means over the centuries, and in fact, over the last 2,600 years, what you'll find is that Plato is where this idea comes from. And so what that means fundamentally is that Torah claims of being written before Plato have to be false. And so if we want to talk about the inconsistencies in the Bible, well, the inconsistencies in the Bible aren't in the Bible itself. The inconsistencies are with what people say about the Bible when you read it. And frankly, that's only natural, but I kind of misspoke. I kind of lied. I kind of used shorthand to get from point A to point C, because what actually is true is that many of the books of the Old Testament make claims about themselves that cannot be true. Torah is many of those books. But to dismiss the prophets and to dismiss the matriarchs is a real mistake. Image language then comes from Plato. Plato and Platonism, and especially Neoplatonism of the 2nd century BC to the 2nd century AD, really latched onto the idea of image and what is God's image, and then what does God do when God thinks about making something. And now we're at Torah. Firmly, the Torah is in the 250s, in the 250s BC. So we can see how this is a weirdly cross-cultural and deeply incestuous Ouroboros from Judaism to Plato to back to Judaism to Platonism, back to Judaism into Neoplatonism, and then that becomes Christianity. We can see that. You're smart enough and you know enough about history to know that, and you've definitely listened to my long forms enough to hear me obsess over it for the last several years. Okay, so when you make a chair in the image of the perfect chair, the chair in your mind. So when God makes something, a creature, a thinking sapient creature, what's he going to make it in? Well, he's going to think of the only other sapient thing, and that's him. So we are made in the image of God. So do you ever think about what that really means and how you are supposed to behave if you are the thought of a thinking God, a God of thinking?